Hi, this is Bro Thockchom. Today I will talk about navigating through difficult times. We all go through difficult times. Whoever you are, wherever you live, and whatever you do, everyone goes through dark seasons in life. Failing in exams, not being able to crack the job that you aspired for since long time, an unexpected job loss, not getting through a long due promotion, business failure, bankruptcy, meeting with a major accident, going through a chronic illness, losing life partner or losing your loving parents are some of the examples of difficult times that people go through in their lives. These times make you feel hopeless, helpless, confused, anxious, frustrated, depressed and lonely. No matter how hard you try, it doesn't look like finding a solution to the problems that keep cropping up from nowhere in those phases. You start losing self confidence, and at some extreme cases, it seems like you are nearing the end of your life. I have personally gone through most of these phases I am talking about, and few of those cases were extreme scenarios in my cases, wherein I had lost all hopes of falling back on track. Thankfully, I navigated through each of those phases successfully, and I was able to make progress in life after each of those phases. The good part is that each of those experiences taught me some incredible lessons which made me wiser, stronger, and better. Now, let me share with you some of the key learnings from dark seasons in life, and let me also share some of the proven ways to navigate through those difficult times in life. Learning number one: when you go through difficult times, you get to know who your true friends are. See, when you are on your highs and when you are successful in life, you will find a lot of friends to cheer for you. They will befriend with you, they will show up at every important occasions of yours. They will show love and care for you, and they will do all possible things to win your trust so that you also start considering them as your own people, and eventually you start maintaining a strong bonding with them. But unfortunately, most of them will show you a shockingly different behavior when you walk through the valley of darkness in your life. You will come to know that most of them are fake. They are not your true friends. They were befriending with you only and only because of your success. They are selfish people, and they do not care for you when you pass through difficult times. They will never show up when you actually need them. Some of them won't even mind stabbing you at the back. It hurts to the core when you feel about the fact that many of them are the ones whom you have helped in the past, and you had made many sacrifices for their growth and prosperity in their lives. Those people came to your life so that they could take something from you, to take advantage of you, and to take benefits of your strengths. You were only an option for them to solve their problems or to achieve their goals. You were never a friend to them. See, it's not easy to get real friends in today's world, and difficult times will only disclose you who your true friends are. Do not miss the opportunity to identify a true loyal friend from among the thousands of people around you. If you are lucky enough to find them, do not let them go from your life. True friends are the ones that you can rely on, who stand by you at both the times of thick and thin, rather than standing by you only when you are doing well in your life. They will make time for you, and they will be there with you when it matters and when you need them the most. They will be reliable, honest, selfless to you, and they will never take advantage of you. They will encourage and support you to prosper in your life. I truly believe that it's always better to have only one true friend in life rather than having thousands of them who stand by you only when you shine in your life. Let me come to learning number two. Most people give up in the middle of the race. No matter how strong you resolve, sometimes you get frustrated and you want to give up when you experience life's inevitable testing times. As a result, most people give up, leave the race in the middle, and they become failure. The unfortunate part is that many of them gave up, not even realizing that they were so close to success. Let us not forget that every major success in the world is achieved when you hold on to the fight with passions, keep moving on, and keep executing on your plan consistently day in and day out. Therefore, it's important to build resilience so that you cope with the turbulence and bounce back after every fall and be in the race in life. Here, I would like to quote Conrad Hilton, the American businessman who founded the Hilton Hotels chain. Hilton said, "Successful men and women keep moving. They make mistakes, but they never quit." Dear friends, how to build resilience is a big subject. I promise you that I will discuss about how to build resilience some other day at length. Let's talk about learning number 3. Difficult times are temporary, they are not permanent. Like morning follows every dark night, hard times will end one day for sure. It may take some days, months, or years, but yes, it is going to pass. Remembering the fact that hard times are not going to last forever and it is temporary can change your perspective in a big way. It helps us to focus on utilizing every hour of the difficult phase on needful actions rather than judging and frustrating about why you are going through this painful time. Believe in yourself even if things are not in your favor. Clear off all the self-doubts and misbeliefs in your abilities and passion. Have faith, saying that you can come out of this phase successfully, howsoever difficult the situation is. Build confidence from within. Remember that it is not only you who goes through problems in life. All the happy, smiling and confident people who you encounter with in everyday life also has problems in their lives. You may not have any idea of what may come next, but trusting that no matter what happens, you will be able to handle it and learn from the outcome will help you to build confidence from within. Learning number 4. You cannot change the external conditions, but you can change yourself to successfully navigate through the phase. Most of us have the habit of externalizing things when you go through a problem. And we start engaging into fixing the external conditions, things and people around us. The hard fact is that that never solves the problem. That eventually leads to compounding the problem rather than solving it, because changing the external conditions is not in our hand. In fact, things change dramatically when we start focusing on ourselves. Making conscious efforts with a well-thought-through approach helps you navigate through the situation in a much better way instead of making compulsive response to the situation. Therefore, you must introspect yourself to look at every areas of improvement in terms of how you are responding to the conditions and then act upon it. How you respond to it will determine on how the outcome will be. Learning number 5. Difficult phase is a good time to revert a new improved version of yourself. As a human nature, we tend to look for external reasons to explain our unhappiness, frustration or difficult situation. We love blaming others. Sometimes people blame the stars and even the God as the reason behind their unfavorable situations. Internationally well-known author and speaker in the field of self-development, Dr. Van Dyer once said, "All blame is a waste of time. No matter how much fault you find with others, and regardless of how much you blame others, it will not change you or your conditions. The only thing blame does is to keep the focus off you when you are looking for external reasons to explain your unhappiness and frustration. It is always worthwhile to change the way you look at the present difficult situation. You can definitely change the condition if you direct the focus into yourself. If you critically try to see, you will find that somehow, somewhere, you are responsible for landing into that situation. When you go deep dive into it, you will certainly find some habits, behaviors, or mindset of you responsible for it. Therefore, it is a great opportunity to let go of what is not working and embrace what works and prepare for rebirth of your new version. List down all the habits, behaviors, mindsets and things that are causing damage to you or no longer adding value to you and immediately get rid of those. Identify the people who are causing damage or no longer adding value to your life and carefully distance yourself from them. If few of them happen to be in your close relation, etc., you can minimize interaction without spoiling the relation, or you may like to find an innovative way to cause minimum time waste. Reflect upon your past and present situation. Visualize your way forward and find out the new habits, behaviors, mindsets, things, and people that will add value as you move ahead. Invest time and efforts to work on developing those habits, behaviors, mindsets, and relationships. Go for a complete rebirth of your new, better version. I sincerely hope that you are enjoying this podcast and you are finding it valuable. If you are finding it valuable, I request you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and to follow my social media handles like Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, etc., so that you don't miss out my future contents. I am available in all those platforms by the name Bro Thockchom. Now let me talk about learning number 6. Difficult phase can be leveraged to make quantum jumps in life. Difficult phases are the perfect opportune times brought by life to reboot our life. You must utilize these times in preparing for a complete transformation so that you can relaunch a much better version of yourself and go for a quantum jump from where you were before rather than going for incremental success in life. It is a good time to take a pause for critical self-introspection, deep research, revisit your life blueprint, and identify the game-changing levers that can give you exponential growth in life. Identify those high potential opportunities which can give you exponential growth at present and in future. Do a proper research and consult with experts or mentors. Remember that difficult times always bring with it big opportunities, and it is a great time to identify the macro and micro opportunities. Once you have identified it, pick up the top game-changing idea to harness it at its best. Set goals, make a comprehensive strategy to execute on it, and put your might behind it to make it successful. Remember that ideas work only when you determine to work upon it until you are successful. Believe in yourself. Remember that you have the ability to make it happen. Celebrate when you make some visible movements towards the goal. It will motivate you to put even more efforts to achieve the goal in the coming days. Develop the game changers mindset. Now, allow me to share 2 factual stories which have always inspired me big time whenever I go through difficult phases in my life. The first story is about some of the world's most incredible companies which were taken off in the middle of worst times. The industry giants like GE, General Motors, IBM, HP, FedEx, and Microsoft were born at a time when the world was reeling through unprecedented recession. While most of the other big entrepreneurs of that time were taking shelter and struggling to survive, they looked at the difficult times as an opportunity to harness new technology for addressing the emerging problems and found ways to add meaningful value to the customers. As a result, they went on to become industry icons. We can learn many lessons from these companies. The first lesson: the time that the entire world sees as a disaster might actually be an opportunity. Tapping those opportunities can help you build an empire and add value to the world and humanity. Number 2, offering innovative solutions to the customers or market demands can help you build exponential business growth. And number 3, harnessing new technology can enable you to change the game completely. The second story is about the life lessons that we can learn from the bird eagle. Eagle flies alone or only with the birds of its own kind high up on the sky. It can spot a prey from roughly 5 kilometers away and maintains focus until it accomplishes the attack. While training the young ones to fly, the mother eagle throws the eaglets out of the nest. The scared eaglets try to jump back into the nest again and again. Then the mother eagle removes the soft layers of its nest, exposing the thorns and the rough sticks. The eaglets start shrieking and bleeding, but the mother eagle throws them out of the nest repeatedly. This process is repeated until the eaglets start flapping their wings, getting stronger and stronger with each flap, and finally start flying. When the storm comes, instead of taking shelter at the safe places like other birds, the eagle bird flies into the fierce storm fearlessly. It spreads its wings and positions itself firm enough to utilize the pressure of the storm and glides without using its own energy. In this way, the wind picks the eagle up and lifts it above the storm. When the storm rises below, the eagle enjoys the peace and security above. Eagles actually get excited when storm comes and it welcomes the challenge it brings with it because it knows that the storm will lift it up above the cloud. When eagle attains the age of 40 years, its physical condition becomes too deteriorated to survive. Its talons lose their flexibility and cannot grab any prey. Its long, sharp beak becomes dull and bent, and its wing feathers grow thick and heavy, sticking to its chest, making it impossible to fly. At this point, eagle has only two options. Option number one, to die of starving, or go through an extremely painful process of replacing its talons, beak and the feathers, which will allow it to live for another 30 to 40 years. Again, there are many lessons we can learn from the bird eagle. Let me mention here 5 important lessons. Lesson number 1. Separate yourself from the people who do not share your ambitions. Associate with only those who share similar visions with you or who can add value to your life. Lesson number 2. To fly high in life, have long-term vision and laser-like focus on your goal. Lesson number 3. To grow in life, you need to force yourself to step out of your comfort zone. Tough upbringings help to prepare your children, face the world successfully and fly high. Lesson number 4. Embrace challenges head-on rather than escaping from it. Challenges bring opportunities that can lift you above the rest of the world. Learn skills to leverage the opportunities for making quantum jumps. And lesson number 5. Life brings with it painful phases also that demands a complete rebirth of yourself. It involves the death of your old self. In those situations, you need to get rid of the toxic habits and the old mindsets, the relationships and the job that no longer give meaning to you and embrace the new you. When you successfully do that, you stay ahead of the world. As the gold shines brighter and becomes purer when it is put into fire, you become stronger and more resilient when you go through difficult phases in life. I am a strong believer of the fact that God gives us all the required abilities and the circumstances to come out of every problem that we face in life. But you need to do the required work for that. You need to make the needful conscious efforts to conquer it like never before. Make this temporary difficult phase so inspiring that you feel proud of yourself when you look back to these days as you are on your deathbed one day. Therefore, don't leave any stone unturned to utilize every possible strength of yours to make it memorable. I hope you found this podcast valuable. For going deeper on this subject and for knowing the proven winning steps to success, I suggest you to read my bestseller book, From the Countryside to the Boardroom. In that book, I have encapsulated some powerful lessons from my life journey and also the learnings from my research on the lives of people who have achieved extraordinary success in their lives. I have presented all those lessons and learnings in a very simple and easy to understand manner. I promise you that once you complete reading that book, you will walk out as a completely changed person.